Hey, this is Lance Beaumont from Northwest Christian University and lancebeaumont.com. Today I wanted to talk to you just about doing simple strumming patterns or basic strumming patterns that I have kind of come up with and things that I teach to my students that lead to more complex strumming patterns. One of the things that I hear a lot when I hear people play acoustic guitar is inconsistent strumming patterns. Most of it from just having an inconsistent sense of rhythm. That they'll start fast, end up slowing down, then speed back up, and it's just not a consistent way of going about strumming. People can't sing along with you, and it just makes it really painful to hear a song performed that way. So with the strumming pattern, I'm going to talk about just some strumming basics, and then I'll give you 3 basic strumming patterns that will lead to, or I'll demonstrate how they can become complex strumming patterns or sound more impressive. The first thing about strumming is that you want to make sure that when you strum, you're coming across the strings as quickly as possible so that it sounds like the notes are being sounded together. That's what a chord is. It's sounding the notes at the same time, much like a pianist would drop their hands on the piano at the same time on the keys. So we want to make sure that we're going across the strings quickly. So that's the first thing about strumming. The second thing is making sure that the top of your hand is moving parallel to the guitar top. We don't want to have the hand rotating back and forth like this across the strings. That's not going to give us a good sound out of the instrument. We're going to miss strings and things like that. So we want to make sure that we're moving quickly across the strings and parallel to the guitar top. The upstroke is just the reverse of the upstroke. The hand still moving parallel to the guitar top. So a simple down-up motion looks like this. So that's kind of the idea of strumming the guitar. Now, the 3 basic strumming patterns that I'm going to show you, and you can download the PDF from my website, lancebeaumont.com, in this post. And the 3 basic strumming patterns are very simple. The first one's going to start off with just doing quarter notes, downstrokes. So I'm going to hold just a simple, just a G chord over here and play this. So it's going to be 1, 2, Now that's not a really complex pattern. It's not something that you would want to take to a coffee shop and then perform with, but it's going to get us started to something more complex. So that's strumming pattern number 1, just doing simple quarter notes, all downstrokes. The second one is going to actually incorporate some eighth notes. Now if you notice that when I was strumming, my hand had to come back up in order for me to do another downstroke. It's very simple, okay? What goes, you've got to come back up to reset to do another downstroke. Well, what I'm doing by doing this down-up motion, even in the quarter notes, is I'm subdividing the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this time, what I'm going to do is actually strum some of the strings on the way up, thus giving me an upstroke. So the first strumming pattern was all downstrokes, 1, 2, 3, 4. The second one is going to be a quarter note, 2 eighth notes, quarter note, 2 eighth notes. So the strumming pattern is going to be 1, 2, and 3, 4, and down, down, up, down, down, up. And it's going to sound like this. So again, very simple, not something that would be impressive that you would want to take out of the garage, so to speak. The third strumming pattern is going to mix that idea up just a little bit more. It's going to have 2 quarter notes followed by 4 eighth notes. Down, 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 up, down, up. This is how it will sound. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. So those are the 3 basic strumming patterns. There's one other thing that I didn't mention about strumming, that when we strum, we want most of our motion to come from the wrist, from a very relaxed but yet controlled wrist. Okay? What I tend to tell students is that pretend that you stuck your hand in a bowl of oatmeal and you're just trying to shake it off. It's kind of that quick throwing of the wrist across the strings. There will be some slight arm movement, but we don't want to lock it in place and just go like that, okay, pivoting on the arm. We want that just to kind of flow a little bit with the wrist. So those 3 basic strumming patterns will become more complex if we speed up the rhythm. So if I take that first strumming pattern of quarter notes, and instead of playing quarter notes, if I was to play eighth notes, then it's going to sound a little more impressive. And what I was doing with the left hand is in an older post, just on adding moving lines to a G chord, if you wanted to go back and watch that video and read the post on that. So that's how we would make that first strumming pattern a little more impressive. So all I'm doing is keeping my wrist relaxed and just speeding up the frequency at which I play, at which I do these downstrokes. Okay. Now, if we do the second strumming pattern twice as fast, we're going to get kind of a galloping motion, which works great for Iron Maiden tunes, but not so much for acoustic guitar playing. So I'm doing down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, like that. Okay. So what I would prefer to do is to take the first 2 beats of the second strumming pattern and add that to the second 2 beats of the third strumming pattern. So I get down, down, up, down, up, down, up, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Here it is slowly. Now if I play that double time twice as fast, I get this. So that sounds a little more impressive than just doing the simple 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now the more experience you get with this, the more the different and fun strumming patterns that you can come up with, and adding syncopation, that's adding accents where you don't expect them. And so if you keep this consistent down-up motion that you're playing, what you would then do, the more experience you get, the more comfortable you get, is sometimes you'll just miss an upstroke, and that's going to add these moments of silence, which give us this idea of syncopation, adding accents where we're not expecting them. So if I take, again, a G chord, I'm just keeping this down-up motion going the whole time. Sometimes I'm adding strokes and sometimes I'm missing the strings. And that gives me that kind of really interesting syncopated line. So these are just kind of some ways of starting off with a very simple strumming pattern, which we need to do to make sure that we're playing with a very steady rhythm. That's so important to do, is making sure your rhythm is rock solid. Practicing with a metronome is also another good tip. That'll be another post later on. Start off simple. Make sure you're comfortable with it. Then you can continue to speed that simple rhythm up faster and faster. And then you get to a point where your wrist is relaxed, your arms are relaxed, your playing is relaxed, and you can play that twice as fast. All right? Hope you have fun with it. Thanks.